Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, Patreon, and anything else I usually go about on Twitter X. Um, yesterday was Monday. I was out all day. I just managed to reach late at home, and I did manage to publish a Death Stranding episode. I think I missed also Saturday. Yeah, I've been having some pretty busy days, and lately it's spending. Basically, I had to go in meetings and all that jazz outside the home, so it's a little bit tricky to do some gaming news. But yeah, today is Tuesday. Got some stuff here. Let's get right into it. Similarly, again, take it with a huge grain of salt. This is tag their rumor. I think it's Copite 7 Kimi. He, the name is not strange for me. He's been leaking from time to time some from line up the GPUs and specs and all that jazz. And usually is quite on point regarding those specs and all that jazz. And it's now been leaking, let's say, some uh, specs for the super um, NVIDIA GPUs. So basically, the refresh of the lineup. It's been, I don't know, 6 months, uh, even though they launched the 5050, supposedly is going to launch this week. Again, I don't know. It's a shit show of a GPU, that's for sure. I think some preliminary testing did show that the 4060 it's better than the 5050. So that's that. Um, but yeah, uh, some interesting stuff here. Again, I think this rumored refresh thing here on the super side, on the super series, sorry. uh, Again, taking all the information, it seems that overall, again, take it with a huge grain of salt. We cannot mention this enough. The 5000 series launch from NVIDIA has been a shit show, especially in terms of uplift in performance from generation to generation, plus the pricing. We still see a lot of the 5090s. Supposedly, there's a lot of stock in United States market in stores, specifically Micro Center, specifically 5090s. We got from 3000 and up on AIB's models. Uh, yeah, I don't know what to tell you here. The Super doesn't look that better in a sense in terms of uplifting performance, in the sense that they basically they will not bring more CUDA core, so no extra performance, except for the 5070 Super, which seems to be the most interesting in terms of the refresh there. Again, but even the 5070, again, I'm not sure. No, the 5070 Ti still hovers around a lot of models around $900 again. Might as well go for AMD, the 9070 XT. But the 5070 seems the most interesting one, just by the fact that it has a little bit extra juice in terms of the CUDA cores. And the Super Refresh will supposedly also bring 50% more memory. Again, I think the technical reason for this is the fact that probably NVIDIA might introduce the 3 gigabyte modules, given that this is GDDR7, instead of the 2 gigabyte modules that they are on the 50 series there. Given that they can, with the GDDR7, introduce 3 gigabyte memory modules. Again, the increase in terms of memory capacity of the VRAM is 50%. That's why we've been seeing a lot of these numbers. But even still, again, if you're going to do something, for example, with the 5070 Ti Super, in terms of having more VRAM than the 5080, and again, performing less, even though, again, the fact that in terms of scaling in the CUDA cores between each of the class cards there, again, it's starting to get a little bit marginal in that sense. I think the 3080 had only less 15% of the CUDA cores from the 3090, and at this moment in time, the 5080 has only basically half of the CUDA cores of the 5090, which is very weird the way they went about it. And with that said, there's going to be a little, at least a little increase in terms of the TGP, so total graphics power, or whatever they are calling there. Again, this is all rumored. Again, I think this is going to be, again, I don't know if they're going to shut down or stop manufacturing the replaced from the Super Series. Again, I don't see a lot of sense having a 5080 on the market or still being manufactured with only 16 gigabytes, and then they try to sell you a 5070 Ti Super 24 gigabytes. Again, with this increase in pricing, for sure, that we're going to do in terms of strategy, being more expensive than 5080 and performing less, even though it has more memory. Again, memory by itself doesn't gives extra performance in the sense that unless there is some limited scenarios in terms of the VRAM buffer there. But yeah, unless they shut down the manufacturer, for example, the 5080, 5070 Ti, 5070, I don't see anything in terms of having I don't know, any kind of benefits, unless again they just going for charging a little bit extra for the fact that they have 50% more VRAM, so they will, I don't know, charge a little bit more. I'm not sure, but yeah, overall, there is only in the 5080 Super supposedly some memory clocks there, a little bit extra juice. But in terms of power, again, I think it has to do mainly by the fact that, again, power draw to make it stable, the memory stuff there. But yeah, even as a rumor, I will, I don't know, I would like to be more, a little bit more excited about this, but I am not, mainly because of the prices again, and the price to performance between generations. Uh, from what I've been seeing, I think at this moment in time, f- there might be some deals here and there. Specifically, I heard in some micro centers, they sometimes have like open boxes, GPUs, that people bought the GPU, they regret it, or they have like very little use with huge discounts by the fact that it's an open box GPU. So if you're going to one of these locations, might as well ask if they have anything under the counter, let's say, something that is not in on the listings in a, because usually I think they keep this on the site. I don't know, for somebody that asks this kind of situation, because again, what they want to sell is the unopened the GPUs. But yeah, under that, I don't see huge excitement here. Um, Only the fact that it has more VRAM. But again, the fact that they're now putting more VRAM, again, I don't know why they launched a 5080 with only 16 gigabytes when they could have launched this with 24 gigabytes by the same price. The same thing can be said to a certain degree with the 5070 Ti. Even though, again, 16 gigabytes for supposedly that performance tier should be enough. And the 5070 with 12 gigabytes is marginal. But yeah, by the fact that they could at least have some 3 gigabyte modules instead of the two, to, I don't know, make a compelling reason for people to get those GPUs with a little bit extra VRAM, specific, potentially, given that it has more VRAM than the previous generation. I don't know, maybe a sell point there in terms of marketing. But yeah, I don't see, by the fact that there is a lot of GPUs, especially on the higher end, on the 5090s and I assume 5080s. Again, they are going bunkers in terms of pricing, and this is not taking the so-called tariff situation, specifically on the United States market. I saw some stuff regarding the GeForce CPUs. Some of them are below MSRP in certain markets in Europe, but it's again very specific cases. Again, market conditions are not good for people to have expendable income to spend between, I don't know, at least 2,000 euros in. in the GPU. But yeah, even though this is rumored, I wanted to be excited here. The only thing that it's got me excited is the fact that they're finally, if the rumors are true, they're finally going to increase a little bit the VRAM buffer there, which to a certain extent can extend some, to a certain degree, the life of the GPU, by the fact that, again, even GeForce GPUs with all their old technology, the DLSS 4s, the fake frame stuff there, it usually demands more VRAM capabilities from the GPUs. So got that also. Again, I don't know what kind of shenanigans they are up to. I'm not sure. Again, if this is launched as it is or around about this kind of specs, increasing specs, for sure we're going to see some increase in prices for sure from MSRPs. And they have to, I don't know, this is going to be a mess because the MSRPs themselves are already not good. They are not achievable at this moment in time. My one of the only one of the concerns that I have regarding the 5080 Super, if it start demanding more power, probably going to see some melted connectors. We didn't see that much on, for example, the 4080s. We saw a lot over the 4090s. I still think is, from my perception, still something that happens, specifically 5090s, 4090s. And if it seems that the power connector itself, the 12-volt power thing, I think can achieve stable connections round about 300 and something, at least the top 400 watts there in terms of power delivery. It seems to not affect that much the melting connector situation there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this goes. Still, I think there's something up regarding this super refresh here. Maybe they are leaking this information to see the feedback. I don't know. I don't think Nvidia cares that much regarding the gaming and DIY space there. Given that they are already, again, they are launching a 5050 without huge fanfare. Again, I think this chip of the 5050 is more for laptop, given that the 4050 didn't add a discrete GPU. It only launched for laptops or mobile devices there. I think they should have done the same thing with the 5050 and stick it with that. But yeah, at this moment, in terms of pricing, is not great, even from AMD. Even though, from what I've been seeing and following up, AMD seems to be the better deal to a certain degree, especially if you want to buy RDNA 4 FSR. The FSR 3, FSR 4, sorry, yeah, FSR 4. It's a huge uplift. They are implementing that in more games, and it at least is something that, I don't know. Maybe it's something that you might take in consideration if you want to upgrade your GPU. But yeah, not a lot of huge good news here. In terms of gaming, I saw this going up during the weekend. The Alters game, or the Alters dev, they admitted using AI or generative AI in some assets that were mistakenly left in the game. Again, again, this situation, AI is here. I don't think it's going away. To a certain degree, if used properly, I think it can help in terms of development. Again, I'm not sure how generative AI can, or AI. I think AI, general speaking, can, I don't know, help out regarding, I don't know, Q&A stuff there. I don't know, trying to simulate certain scenarios, for example, in terms of PC, I don't know, PC performance or performance issues, and trying to make suggestions to developers to do certain things. I think it can be something, for example, in the development cycle, like it was mentioned here with the alters, generating like whips. Again, I'm not sure what the whip means, but I think it's kind of temporary asset or placeholder things that are placed in game. They mentioned here this is mostly considered whip. Again, I don't know the technical term there, Um, and also here, it seems that they were left out of the Q&A process there. I think it can help to have like a placeholder so developers can have a sense of how the game is going. But supposedly they used for this whip thing generative AI, and then they in the Q&A process they removed everything except for this one. I think a couple of examples only. But they did eventually use generative AI for some localization. Especially, there is a lot of poor translation, specifically Portuguese. Again, I'm a Portuguese speaker, native Portuguese. Again, I don't, I didn't see any examples of the translation there. But yeah, the fact that Portuguese, Russian, and German, given that they have a lot of, in terms of translating from English to Portuguese, can be a little bit weird, even in Google Translate. If you use certain phrases translated from one language to another, given that there is a very nuanced language, Portuguese, Russian, and German, they are very tricky languages, let's say, even though, again, more than English, given that English, I think it's more an accessible language than these three languages in terms of grammatically how they're very tricky and complicated, very nuanced, and how they go about not only in speaking but in writing form. Again, I only assume some of the mistakes that the AI went through and trying to localize this in terms of the audio stuff there. The excuse or the justification that 11-bit studios use is the fact that it was lack of time to outsource this to their customary companies that they usually use for this kind of work in terms of localization, translations, and all that jazz. Even though they supposedly eventually will patch up this, it was already in the plans, including the whip stuff there. That anything that was AI generated supposedly were supposed to go and be replaced in an update later down the line. But yeah, I think this is not good in the sense that there is some Steam policies regarding generative AI use in games, and I think they missed the mark here. I think like a warning is telling that certain assets or certain things were used. I think an explanation being open and crystal clear on how the state of the game is and how they want to proceed forward with this. I think it suits better to not only be compliant with the Steam policies regarding the use of AI, but also for the customers, because a lot of people got the sour taste here, specifically on the localization stuff, plus the fact that they discovered that some stuff were used with AI. I think on the launch they might as well said, okay, we got a couple of issues during development. We are working on it, and to remediate this in a temporary way, we had to use AI workloads for to I don't know a localization of these languages. So bear with us. We're trying to solve this in the later patch. We will fix this. So until then, we'll give you some updates how the process is going. I think something on those lines would go better. People would not like it, but at least they could. You are not breaking the trust with the customers because you're upfront with the things regarding again this AI use on this game, specifically on the localization stuff there. I think again AI is here to stay. Again, how it's going to be used, it's like any tool. The tool itself is not bad. It's usually the way you're going to use that tool that might indicate the good or bad use of it. It's like a hammer. The hammer serves the purpose of usually nail for nails, but if you want to use a screw and nail a screw, again, usually that doesn't go well. It's kind of the same thing here with AI. I think it can be used at least conceptually in helping out developers on trying to find some errors, for example, on the code or something like that, to help them out in certain things. But I think if the tools are used, and if they're staying on the final product there, is something that the developers need to be upfront about it, because but in the end, especially in this kind of bigger like double A to triple A games, people will notice. Indie games might go under the radar in a lot of cases, supposedly. Uh, but yeah, players will find out eventually if something like this is done or not. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Hopefully, they can patch this thing up properly, and hopefully, in the next one, they really do be more. So they could be a little bit more upfront regarding the process of how they are going about using AI. But yeah, AI is being used at this moment and from some years ago in helping out development for sure. It's just a matter of how it's being used. Basically, that's my main point there. Then we got for Clair Obscur, we got a new mod which introduces a highly regressive feature, which is a mini map. Again, I played the game. Again, I had the issues on the launch of the game. In the meantime, I start playing Death Stranding. I'm still recording that series, going about there. I think I'm 3/4 way of wrapping up that game. But I then I'm not sure if I'm going to play right away Clair Obscur. I'm still in the size of starting up the game itself from scratch. I think I only recorded like 8 or 9 episodes. It's been a while since I played that game, so there are some details that already eludes me. So starting off from the get go, from where I stopped, might not be the best option for me. Probably I will do another game in the meantime, so I can really forget some stuff from Expedition 33. Again, is still a decision in the making. But yeah, from what I played, I know I really enjoyed that. Um, and again, this again, if you want to have this minimap, this mod will introduce with even Zoom multiplayer stuff there, which is interesting. There's again, from what I played, I got lost a couple of times, but not something that enraged me to the point of quitting the game. I think it's part of the mechanic of discovery and going to the unknown. It's a part a little bit on the lore itself there. The fact that they don't know what's beyond the veil when they launch the expedition, I think to a certain degree justifies not using the minimap in that sense. So it's got that exploratory sense. um, the overall map, you got the overall map, so you can see a lot of stuff there where you want to go and not go. You got the overall map where you can see locations and all that jazz, but the mini map for the little areas, there wasn't any, and I think it's okay. I don't have any issue with that. But yeah, there is a mod now for people that will not like that don't like that much to be a little bit lost. But yeah, there we go. And then lastly, we're going to have Bandai Namco Summer Showcase tomorrow, July the 2nd. Again, there are some games that I'm curious about. Again, Code Vein 2, um, very underrated game, Code Vein 1. At least that's the perception I got. I think we're going to get a little bit more extra information from the sequel here. We got the Blood and Dawnwalker. Again, I really did enjoy the um, gameplay showcase that they showed there on the church last week, I think, or something like that. I want to see a little bit more because they focus a little bit on choice and consequences, what the difference between daytime and nighttime. I think some examples of I don't know, full on combat thing there to have a better sense of. They touched a little bit of how the combat works, but I wanted to see something more detail in that sense. Then we got other games here. None of them interested me. I got this Toa and the Guardian of Sacred Tree. I think I saw something there, but again, I will try to see Bandai Namco, see if something pops out in terms of interest. The only one that interested me more is the Blood and Dawn Walker. That's it. But yeah, this is kind of there is more news, but I don't want to overextend too much on today's episode. Um, yeah, they are important, but they are not urgent per se. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here some gaming deals. Again, summer sale is up. A lot of huge discounts, huge deals, good games all on sale. We got here Plague Tale Requiem, and again, Plague Tale Innocence is also on sale. You can buy it as a bundle or separately. The last video that I did on the beginning of the summer sale, I went through the games that are on my gaming list. This is only from the wish list here. We got Atomic Heart. Now it's 70% off. And all of the editions. Again, I really want to try this game out. I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff here, specifically regarding the setting of the game there. We got Baldur's Gate 3. It's on sale, 20% off. We got Cyberpunk, 53% on the Ultimate Edition, which I think is the way to go with Phantom Liberty. There was an update 2.3, if not mistaken, but they had to delay that. So we don't know exactly when it will come out. I think they're going to want to introduce more interesting other stuff there. Again, I'm not sure. They only teased that it's going to have a 2.3 update. I'm not sure if it's going to have extra DLC kind of a thing there. But yeah, it's on sale now. Then we got Days Gone. 50% off again. Supposedly now we will not have any kind of shenanigans regarding PSN linking on offline games. So I think this one is safe for now. We got Hogwarts Legacy also 75% off. We got Liza P 50% off. Then we got with the DLC bundle 33% off. No Man's Sky 60%. Again, I don't know how many updates they already did. 20 plus one. I don't know. 25 now. The last one is the Beacon update. Then we got Pacific Drive 50% off in both base game and deluxe edition. We got Prey. Again, this game I do recommend. I managed to claim this one for free from Epic Game Store. I did a series on it. Very underrated game. Immersive sim, lack of better words here. Yeah, you can check out the first couple episodes to have an idea what this game is all about. But yeah, I really did enjoy this game. We got also Red Dead Redemption 2, 75% off and 80% off on the Ultimate Edition. I think it's the way to go, if not mistaken. Then we got Spiritfarer Farewell Edition, 90% off. I did play the demo, and I'm interested in this game here. From what I played, I can recommend here. Some interesting stuff is happening there. The fact that you basically guide the souls to the afterlife. And then lastly, we got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Again, it's one of those that it's a must play if you never tried it out. Again, I do recommend the complete edition. Got the Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone expansions. I usually recommend playing the first run on vanilla mode. I think some I don't know, texture packs or visual mods, it's okay to enhance the experience. But I think the in terms of gameplay mods and the such, I think the first game playthrough should be experienced vanilla, and then on the other runs you can start tweaking around and experimenting with mods for yourself. But yeah, this is it for today. We'll wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual. The extra support from here is for me to try and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. With all that said, hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So till then, Kunamy Master out.